Hello, I'm FX Toycat, and today I'm going to be building a mob farm solely out of spite for the mob in question, which is slimes. If you want to build in the new caves, which are massive by the way, I love the look of them, if you want to make a new project, like my Deep Dark project I'm currently working on, you're going to have to realize that there'll be slime spawning everywhere. You can try and do your best to stop them from spawning, like I placed 256 lanterns over here to prevent them spawning on these blocks. However, the truth is, no matter how big your cave is, you're going to have multiple slime spawning chunks, and so it's going to be a problem. Like, even since I started this video, that slime spawned over there. So here's my solution. I'm going to stop slime spawning by forcing them to spawn inside of a farm. It's probably not a good idea. It's going to be a very inefficient farm, but my whole goal is not to collect the valuable slime balls, which I'm being sarcastic about, but instead, my entire goal with this is just to make sure all the slimes spawn in a place where they don't mess with me and mess with my plans over here, because it's really starting to annoy me. Speaking of things that really annoy me, when you don't like the video, I'm just kidding. But let's get straight into the video, shall we? Because here's the deal. Slimes are not an easy mob to deal with. They are very unwieldy. They don't follow normal rules on spawning or anything else like that, and they won't go away when you just place down torches, as we've discussed before is maybe a problem in caves and cliffs with the bigger caves. And so what we need to do is we need to locate the chunks where they spawn. That's right, slimes do not care about lighting conditions or anything else. They just care, are they in a chunk and are they below y = 40? If so, you get slime spawning everywhere and it's a big problem. So we find those slime chunks using this handy map on chunkbase.com. It is a way to locate it. On every single Minecraft Bedrock seed, it's going to be the same though. That map tells me there's a slime chunk between -385 and -400 and -481 and -496, which means -385 and then -485, I think it was, 481? Okay, so 481 is over here, and then 385 is over here, which means that even right over here is a slime chunk. So now what you need to do is look at the army of these guys following me. Pro tip, by the way, one of the few ways you can stop slime spawns is if you've got so many baby slimes around, new slimes won't be able to spawn. This is actually a key part of the strategy we're using for our farm later on in this video. So now we're going to mine ourselves out this 16 by 16 area, this chunk. But first, what we're going to need to do is grab ourselves a pickaxe to do so. I'm bored of mining with an unbreaking 3 pickaxe with no efficiency, so how about this one? IBX Pickaxe, unbreaking 3, efficiency 5. The only downside is it has a curse of vanishing on. That seems worthwhile to me. We have to promise not to die in this video, despite all of the potential threats. And also, while we're on the other side of our world anyway, we're also going to need to pick up some snow and some pumpkins. For whatever reason, snow golems and slimes have a very useful relationship, so we're going to be taking advantage of that by grabbing some of those things. We're also going to be taking some magma blocks with us, because magma equals death. And now hopefully we have all the ingredients we need so that slimes stop bothering me, and I guess if they farm or something as a result, that's a worthwhile trade-off. I don't usually make farms, but when I hate a mob this much, I guess we kind of have to, huh? So as I was saying before, and wow, apparently literally 2 blocks into starting mining we found diamonds. You know what, this is the annoying thing about Minecraft. There are some tasks that people can work so hard on, and like, you know, sometimes you'll be in that very same boat. You need diamonds so desperately and you don't find them, and sometimes you just want to get a little slime farm made as fast as possible so things stop annoying you, and you just run into diamonds. It's the beautiful thing about life, really, I think, that sometimes the harder you look for something, you know, like the less likely you are to notice it. And sometimes if you're not looking at all, you just find something. It just pops up right into your lap. And again, interesting thing about the world. So yeah, we're going to take a 16 by 16 area, like I said before, from -400, -496, all the way over to -384, -481, I think. -385, -481. We'll just make sure we do that especially low, make sure it's very, very clear. And so now we've got a lot of mining ahead of us. Oh, no, no. Anyway, so it's -385, -481, these coordinates right here. And so we do some mining to make sure this is a dugout area. It might take some time. Obviously, a lot less so when using the power of editing magic, but, you know, this is a farm that is going to have a lot of hard work. Each of these moments that I enjoy without slime is going to be made, you know, worth it by the effort that I'm putting in right here. and it is a lot of effort. We're destroying a whole chunk worth of blocks. A reminder, a chunk is 16 by 16 blocks, so there's 256 blocks per layer, and we have to destroy like a few dozen layers. So we're destroying about 5,000 blocks by hand using a diamond pickaxe, because we live in 2019 still, apparently. Some people say that the way I mine infuriates them, because most people like try to pick to a pattern and stick to it, but to me there's something fun about the chaos in being able to decide in every moment, which block should I mine? Should it be this one, or this one, or that one, or this one? And ultimately, as long as you're not spending too long deciding, as long as you're like making hurried progress, I think the important thing about mining techniques in Minecraft is that you enjoy it enough to do it. So often, I've had this in my real life so much recently, aiming for perfection, and then the moment you can't get perfection, just being sad and going for nothing instead, is like a real problem I have in the world, like with so many things. Like I've probably hurt myself in so many ways, as well as probably other people, right? Just giving up on something because it can't be as good as I imagine it would be, when really, you're not almost as good as you imagine. It's still pretty good, right? I mean, especially if you've got a good imagination, too. Also, I think we're going to leave these half slabs here as a way to prevent mobs from spawning. I don't know if top half slabs do that correctly, so we'll see if slimes end up spawning on top here, and if they do, we can correct that later, of course. But for now, destroy all the blocks on top here. Very sad to see that we placed some here, but it's not many, and this is for the greater good. The slimes need to be gone. Okay, for this last layer, I'm trying to do it in the most satisfying way possible. We're going to go in a little spiral. Let me know if you like this. Okay, I thought that was pretty fun, personally. And now we have a big hole in the ground that slimes are meant to spawn in. We'll confirm they actually do, because during the making of this, a slime jumped in from another chunk, and I don't know where that would have been unless it's down here somewhere. And so we got to keep our distance from the chunk. We put all of our... God damn, how many creeper explosions are going to happen inside of this, just in this one video? It's a whole problem. Anyway, so we have to be very careful because it's a geode inside a cave we're actually chilling in. And yeah, this spider is having a good time trying to get me, but he cannot. So we're going to just stand a little bit away from this and see if any slime spawn in there. I imagine they should, but, you know, should and do are different words. As you can see, I am unbothered, chilling over here. I can now get back to, you know, working on the ceilings or building these towers that I'm needing for my little deep dark. But is that because slimes are spawning in there, or because I just haven't seen them? I don't know. There are no slimes. Is there a good reason about why? I'm not entirely sure. Are there slimes over here? There's no slimes over here either. Yeah, I guess you spend long enough in some chunks, and just enough mobs are spawning in the caves above me, I'm guessing, that I am not being bothered by slimes anymore. So do we relog and... Is that the solution? Or do we just should we just accept happiness that, like, okay, things are working. Why would we ruin this for ourselves? I'm not sure. Aha! Slimes are spawning over here in the chunks where they're meant to, or rather I don't want them to, but they are anyway. And so now we confirm if slimes are spawning in this one. I don't see one yet, but I hope I do soon. I think that was the first time anyone said to themselves, wow, I hope a slime spawns in a location right next to my builds. Sure, that would be convenient for me. But you better believe today it is. There is one slime ball just chilling in the chunk by itself. I cannot tell you why that is. Maybe one spawned and died. Not my problem. In the meantime, I'm just going to get myself some crystals. Pro tip, every now and then you got to harvest your crystals. It looks like these ones actually haven't fully grown since last time, but still, always important just to check up on them. Make sure you're not wasting any fully grown crystal spaces. I'm actually incredibly concerned by this. Slimes are now spawning right over here, even though I'm chilling right in front of it. They're spawning a little bit outside that slime chunk too. And then the one that I went through all of the effort in the last half hour of digging is just sitting there unused, which is a problem because I can't really show off my snow golems when it's unused. But let's do it anyway, not just for fun. Let's go ahead and let's build ourselves a snow golem in the wall. We'll make sure there's a block in front of him. Smooth basalt. Seems as good as any. And I guess we need like a third block in the sky. Okay, so we'll place our pumpkin down first. I don't even know if snow golems work correctly when you do that, but we'll do it anyway. Then we'll place 2 snow just underneath, just like... Oh, I can see the issue of this idea. Wait, and then we'll take a different block, like the slab, I guess. Yeah, we'll put the slab over here instead, and that way I can. There we go. That's a snow golem. There's snow golem here. I guess you have to do the pumpkin last. Oh, and he is unhappy. Oh, we're underneath a desert, so there's. Does he care? Was he constrained, maybe? Was that the problem? I feel like that's a little bit unfair if that's true. That even when you're this far below a desert, it's still so hot the golem cannot survive. I'll choose to believe maybe he suffocated, but I think... Oh, yeah, this isn't working at all. Oh, that sucks really bad. Like, really, really bad. I think I duplicated snow, though, because I had, what, 5... I had 4 snowballs to begin with. Now I have 5... Or I had 16 snowballs. Now I have 5 snow and 2 snowballs. So if you have pumpkins, you can turn them into snow near endlessly. You know what? This is embarrassing. This was a big mistake. I don't know what I did here. But... I'm embarrassed by it, at least. Can we all admit that? I don't... Like, this is a lush cave biome. Oh, I guess maybe that's what it is. Like, this is technically a part of the lush cave. We could have tried building somewhere else in the cave. But now we don't have pumpkins. Because I guess a lush cave implies warm, right? Maybe? Maybe? What biome am I in right now? Am I in no biome? I guess there's lush ceiling. Am I in no biome right now, do you think? Or am I in a desert biome? What does Minecraft assume? I genuinely don't know how it handles this sort of stuff. I didn't think there needed to be a way. I guess it rains down here, so it must be not a desert, because it doesn't rain up. I don't understand any of this. I'm so confused now that I'm thinking about this more. And so rather than thinking about it, let's instead just half stab over this shame, and then hope that no one notices. Sounds good to me. Ah, a slime finally spawned in here. Okay. So slimes do spawn, and they are trapped in there. I think the exception is over here, where the barrier is only 2 blocks high. We could very easily fix this, though, if we wanted to. Also, apparently it's not even a problem. Slimes can't even jump 2 blocks. You suck, man. You suck real bad. Anyway, all we have to do now is we place some slabs. I'm going to use cobble deep slate, because there's no such thing as a deep slate slab. Why is there no such thing as a deep slate slab? Man, you are asking the same questions I am. Thank you very much for that. But, yeah, there's no cobble deep slate slab, so the closest thing we can get is this cobbled version of it. Which, again, strange given that stone exists and so... Whatever, again, not my problem. So we're going to place a ton of half slabs around here. Ooh, probably have to be a slab up to explain. Like this, right? Ooh, that's kind of ugly too. Yeah, I worry they will be able to spawn on the top half of a half slab. I know that you usually can treat it as a full block that's just half underneath. So to prevent that... Yeah, we'll go half slabs around... No, we'll just put half slabs below it, actually. So, like, that can be a half slab into that. There we go. Works perfectly. And so now we place a ton of half slabs around here, making it impossible for mobs to spawn. Bada bing, bada boom, problem solved. Wow, look at that. Things can be easy sometimes. And then if we want to turn this into a proper farm, we can still put the magma blocks down, and by coincidence, sometimes the slimes will jump into them, right? That seems like it will happen. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. After I place my cobbled deep slate down, which as you can see is going to connect to the mountain in a slightly strange way that... Oh, I've been placing on the wrong layer. It's going to connect to the mountain in a slightly strange way. That's going to probably cause some issues. But ignoring that and ignoring all of the other problems we've gone through today, things are going pretty good. I've been going through some personal issues recently. Hopefully they are resolved by the time you are seeing this video. I imagine not, though. And one of the quirks of that, I guess you could say, is like sometimes I'm going through the motion of something, and it's like halfway through. Either it's clear it won't work, or for some unknown reason, or I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I can do this or whatever. And I guess something I've learned to think is just like, okay, you've gone to halfway, why not try and get over the line? It's a really hard balance, because sometimes the skill you need most in life is knowing when to quit. Sometimes you need to know when do we give up on this and move on. And sometimes the skill in life is knowing the exact opposite. When is it not hopeless? When is actually it's a really smart move to keep on believing And I think that, you know, like almost every single idiom humans have can be applied both ways. And the real challenge is knowing when to apply one and when to apply the other, you know? When is it better to keep your friends close but your enemies closer? And when is it better to, you know, like, not birds of feather flock together or opposites attract? You know, like, which is true? Do you like people who are the same as you, or do you like people who are the opposite of you? And the truth is, it really does depend on the circumstance, right? There are lots of things in life where you need people to be exactly like you. You know, there shouldn't be, but there is, sadly. And there's lots of situations where you want someone, where having someone different will really help you understand yourself in a way that you otherwise do not. It's interesting. Okay, so now I'm gonna just build this into an imaginary staircase that goes nowhere, just because I think that looks kind of interesting, right? Do you agree with me on this one, internet? Yeah, I think I have to remove some of these blocks to... There we go. Yeah, I think that does something. You know, it looks kind of mysterious, like there's something going on there. There's not. And, so yeah, now we also have to cover the rest of this chunk, because the problem here being, of course, that we need to make sure the highest possible non-half slab spawn chunk is underneath there, whereas some of this is mountain right now. So all of the mountain has to be covered in half slabs off cobbled deep slate, which is a problem, because if you cover most of this... okay, so that zombie's going to cause me issues any second now, huh? If we cover most of this in blocks, half slabs I should say, it's going to create a weird thing where you can see it's cobbled deep slate on top of regular deep slate. And so the solution to that is, I don't actually have a very good solution. But the solution is we do something about it, and then the problem gets solved. Being a solution person is also one of those hard things where one of the... We spot this in any public field. Like, if you look at the Twitters of the world, if you look at our political beliefs, our criticism of movies and other art, it's really easy to just have an opinion that's like, man, that sucks, huh? I sure hate The Thing. Do you guys hate The Thing too? I hate The Thing. It's probably the easiest opinion to come up with, just like, here's a bad thing, and it is bad, and that is how it is. Why is it bad? Because it's not good. Why is it not good? Because it's bad. And it's very easy to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to place down the magma blocks. Just a few of them to start the murder process. And then we'll slowly expand it while trying to not kill these mobs that are definitely trying to kill me. Sometimes it's a lot easier to just to just kill the problem in front of you, but you wait till the last second. This is one of those things. Like, people think about executive dysfunction a lot as... Because, you know, on the internet there's this fun trend where, like, everyone diagnoses themselves with mental disorders. And that's in part... See, he spawned outside the chunk, somehow. I wonder why that is. Maybe I just have to cover all of this up, truthfully. And one of the terms that comes up as a result of that is executive dysfunction, which is, like, actually it's like a problem every single human being must have had in their life at some point, right? Like, you know what you need to do, but you cannot convince yourself to do it. That's why it's common for most disorders. One of the like procrastinating something. Some people do on like casual things, but some people do on much less casual things. Okay, I'm still gonna not kill mobs, committing to my pacifism right now. See, they're definitely spawning like a chunk over from where they should be, which is a bit of a concern as far as I am concerned. Okay, now we stand here. And look at that, I have worked out a way to be a pacifist, but still to get my blocks. However, now what we need to do is, obviously, we need to be able to collect those blocks down there. So we go beneath this, and we want to have, like, I think some minecart tracks or something that go through and collect these into hoppers, because minecart hoppers can collect blocks in a way regular hoppers cannot. Anyway, now we bring all the mobs back. I'm now the snow golem. The snow golem should be doing this for me. And now they're all tiny, and when they're tiny, they die, they turn into slime balls, and boom, look at that, I've worked out a solution. Honestly, I guess I could just as easily, I could just as easily, like, cover the entire floor in magma and do it that way, but the problem, why were they hiding in the corner there? That was very strange. The problem with that idea is that, obviously, collecting it becomes a lot harder. So what do we do about all of this? I don't know, have some water that turns on once a minute or something? Again, not a problem I thought about, not a problem I intend to think about. Actually, I feel like the water clearing into a central hopper... Okay. Hear me out here, chat. Could you chat? That's embarrassing. I'm sorry. Hear me out here, Let's Play viewer of mine. what I'm going to do is I'm going to make myself the 2 chests to make the 2 hoppers. Yeah, let's just do that. 1 and 2. So if we had a big flow of water, let's, you know, like a dispenser that activates here, and one that activates here. Oh, this is really big. I see the issue of that, actually. I guess if we just, like, had this be on a gradient a little bit, so the water could all flow into one central point, which eventually hit over here, then you could have this go into one hopper, which existed, I don't know, over here, and then boom, there you go. All of the slime balls collect into a hopper. You clear out the hopper every now and then. That could be an alternative that doesn't require us to have a snow golem, because I'm pretty sure snow golems just aren't going to work at all here today, which is actually a very big problem that we will deal with at some point, probably. You know, that's procrastination, right? Just like, ooh, there's this thing I need to do. Should I do it now? Or how about future me takes over that task and we see how he likes it? And the truth is, future me rarely likes having the random task thrust upon him. But what's he gonna do? You make the problem so bad that the only person who can deal with it is the future version of yourself. And then, aha, now we're all good to go. Okay, so 8 more eight more magma blocks go over here. Now we've got a lovely area where if there was a snow golem, all of the slimes would be lawn into, and then we could collect this with some rails and it would be fun. But it didn't work. We didn't make a farm today. You know what? This adds a new layer to my Building Farms Badly series. I managed to make a slime farm that doesn't farm slimes. They spawn in, and then eventually they die because they'll hop on the magma, and then I don't collect the resources from their death. It's a genius farm idea. Just you wait and see. So anyway, yeah, as you can see, we did pretty well today, I think. If we just ignore the ways we didn't. And so now what I'm going to do, just to be like extra sure here, I'm now going to place a ton of extra cobbled deep slate slabs just around the area, like everything around and behind these pillars right here, just to make sure that nothing can spawn. Because if you don't know, half slabs spawn, like it's weird. One of the very few techniques in the game that seems to properly work is that half slabs will basically never spawn in mobs. Why is that true? I mean, it doesn't make sense, but welcome to Minecraft. The point of the game is not that it makes sense. And so we'll put a half slab on top of that, and we'll put some half slabs around it. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, the simplest Minecraft tip that there is, in my opinion, is just that almost every single mob, I think the overwhelming majority, with no exception that I can think of, but whenever you make statements that you're not 100% sure of, the trick is instead of saying all of them, say almost all of them. And you know, then that way you're covered for loopholes. Or if you're worried that like saying almost all of them is incorrect when you're saying that, you just say like probably all of them. And it's like, ooh, wow, look how sure you are using the word probably. That's my competency pro tip, because I don't know anything, honestly. I still don't know, you know, why or how you farm whatever mob came in the newest update. The goats. I don't think you can farm them, right? They just exist. I know it's like this is one of those like conflicts of like personal interest where like I have a friend who worked on Minecraft who made the goats, who like loves them. It's like a really fun thing. And to me, I'm like, it is a goat. It exists. Every now and then, if you're chilling on a mountain, like I've seen, every now and then you see people just hanging out there, and then a goat rams them, and it's like, ah, that was unexpected. Like it's a cute random event sort of thing. But you know, because I don't know, I've always had the opposite opinion on that. But I think that's like I know everyone has different opinions on unexpected events, right? Like, are unexpected events good or bad? I mean, it all depends on what definition you use of the words good and bad, really, doesn't it? Okay, so I think what I'm going to do just to balance out the slabs being a bit weird is we'll... actually, no, we'll work it all out later. For now, I think this is a great idea of just cover everything with these half slabs. That way, absolutely nothing can spawn. If it causes problems, we'll solve the problems as they come in. Sorry, by the way, for keep opening the chat. I had to remap my Minecraft controls this week, and I put pick block back on up. I had it on right for a while. It's really frustrating playing Minecraft Bedrock because your controls will just unbind themselves once a month or so, and so having to like go through manually and do it. It sometimes gets the worst side of me, I would say. So yeah, just using cobbled deep slate for this side of the floor. I don't think anyone's even noticing, and if they are noticing, they're paying too much attention. But have you noticed the lack of slimes so far? I think we actually... We set out to solve a problem by making a farm. The farm didn't work, but everything else is going pretty great, huh? everything else is working really well. No, yeah, I've spent the last, I don't know, week or two in just, I know, I hate just, there's something weird to me. Christmas is this special time of year. Even the week between Christmas and New Year has like a special place for me. And obviously that comes from childhood conditioning, and like, I think it's important that we have that childhood conditioning because, if you think about when Christmas is planned to be, like, let's ignore the fact that obviously Christmas isn't actually when, you know, Jesus was born or whatever the religious connotation is, because they stole the holiday from the pagans, and we all know that. Like, you don't have to mention it to be like, ooh, actually, I'm really smart, and it's not actually the day. It doesn't matter what day something is doesn't matter more than what day people celebrate the thing. Also, do you know we moved the calendar forward or backwards by like 8 days at one point in the 1500s, and so like, you know, if you're trying to if you're trying to make the argument that anniversary is important, I'm not sure that I am ever going to fully buy it because of weird things like that. I think what I should do, by the way, here's an idea. If I dig some holes, like right over here, okay, if I remove these 3 blocks, oops, I did not want to do that, then the slimes will see me, they'll come towards me if I'm chilling over here, and they'll stand on the blocks and they'll die. Although whether I want them to die or not is still up for debate, because if they die, then it leaves more spawning space for more, which would be great for a farming condition. But if they just hang around down there, that's perfectly fine with me. We'll think about that one, shall we? Maybe we could have some glass up here or something. Anyway, yeah, I think we did a pretty good job today, besides the big gap in our cobblestone we haven't filled, which, of course, we're going to have to fill right now. I think that, and I think that the special thing about Christmas is not the day of the year that it is. It's not the, you know, the fact that... I think it's the fact that everyone else is using it as their time to remember their special times from across their life. And at the, you know, like for me also, I used to have like big family Christmases. I used to have these big family Christmases every single year, and you know, there was like a buffet, and there was like a, yeah, there's so many of these weird traditions that like every family makes themselves, and like it was one of those few times a year I could continuously look forward to because food was good, and like as someone who grew up without money, it was a time where you could get the cool stuff, you know, the cool gadgets you'd hear about at school or on TV. If you know, like, you might get 1 or 2 of those things at Christmas. I'd be excited all year, like, oh yeah, maybe I can finally get my hands on I don't know, like a DS or something, you know, like, and so like, yeah, like, to me, Christmas was always this exciting thing, and so it's so weird. There's this like, when I'm feeling like bad in this season, I'm just like, oh man, this is, I can't, like, it's not like I get to delay Christmas for a month and then come back to it. That's also why I feel like there's all these plans that people have where it's like, oh, we're just gonna have exactly Christmas but in January. And it's like pushing it forwards a month actually is, to me, not a it's not even a solution. It's not even really trying to be a solution. It's just like, oh yeah, if we just pretend the problem is somewhere else, then it is. Like, it's one of the, I guess what I'm trying to say is, like, I believe usually that dates being sacred is the dumbest idea. Like, oh yeah, there's this special day of the year where you have to do certain things because, trust us guys, you just do. Like, I find those, like, you know, like the idea of astrology I find to be challenging. Like, I don't think the month or the day in the year that you're born really affects you or your personality so much. But then at the same time as saying all of that, I have this one special connection to Christmas. And that's why, and it's also why, like, I try to make sure I'm uploading videos over the Christmas period. If you don't know, this is the time of year where CPMs drop from some of the highest they've been all year to basically nothing. I mean, obviously, basically nothing is a relative term. You know, we get paid as YouTubers between 0.2 and 0.5 cents, depending on how good of a time of year it is, and it goes down to like 0.1 or 0.15. You know, is that relatively? I mean, it's that you could argue they're all relatively nothing, right? Or next to nothing. You know, that's the problem with the term next to nothing, is you really need to understand nothing before you understand it. Like, I don't know, I had, every now and then, like, someone, like, says something like this to me, and, you know, like, it's, you can totally understand why. Like, I am lucky, and I am in this YouTube space where I get to follow a passion of mine every day. And sometimes, you know, maybe I don't even appreciate that well enough. What a monster I am. I think I've done by here, by the way. But every now and then someone's like, yeah, you just don't know what it's like to struggle like this. And like, you know, like to me, as someone who did, I never bring up the fact that like, yeah, I struggled. I mean, sometimes I do, but I'm trying not to now. I'm trying to be like, oh yeah, tell me about the struggle. I just don't understand. Like I want to give people the response they want from me on that, right? Like I think it's better sometimes for people, like if people aren't going to believe you anyway, you might as well go along with what they're saying to, you know, make them feel good about the point they want to get out there. That like, you know, because everyone has struggled. It's in different ways too, right? Like I'll totally admit that like even though, you know, when I had my 0 point where I hit 0 and there was like, you know, when I had that point, it would have been way different if I had like, I don't know, children, or if like it was Christmas, so I had gifts to buy, or something, you know, something like that. If I bought gifts for people, can't believe these people think I buy gifts. Actually, you know what, during this very Let's Play, I was interrupted with various like gift ideas. So, you know what, I do buy gifts. This is one of those things I figured I would grow out of, and I'm sure I will eventually, because like, I hate the pressure of receiving gifts so much, but because of that, like, you know, that upbringing where we didn't have money, it's still so cool to me every time I receive something I actually want, but haven't thought about, because it's like, whoa, you have added value to my life. I was just here for the company and for the food, and then also I get additional things in my life. Oh, this is something. I'm recording this before Christmas, by the way. Maybe no one adds value to my life this Christmas. I'll update you next Let's Play. But it's crazy. It's like, oh man, this was an additional part of the bargain. But I always feel like obliged to be like, oh, thank you. But like, actually, thank you. I would say thank you if this was terrible because I'm polite. But like, actually, thank you. But then also, if something's bad after you've said that, you have to be like, oh yeah, thank you. I'm gonna, you know, when you gave me this horse manure, make your own horse manure kit. You know, I'm gonna have lots of fun with it. I might make a video, am I right? We all know that's a thing I do. I don't know what I'm saying here. I don't know what this video is, honestly. It's Merry Christmas. Gonna be taking some amount of time off in January. Actually, you know, I don't even know if that's going ahead. Like, my year is so out of whack. I don't even understand things anymore. I'm getting my whole life is upheaving relatively soon, I think, in a way that I don't know if I'm ready for yet, but welcome to life. You know, this has been a negative ending. I just want to say to everyone who has a little Christmas time off, I'd say appreciate it, but actually, you don't have to appreciate a thing for it to be great. Just, you know, there is this special time that is right now, and sometimes it doesn't feel special, but that doesn't mean that it isn't special. And, you know, in the same way, this time we've spent building a slime farm badly was special for me, even if it didn't feel special because it wasn't a slime farm. Yeah, I guess I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.